Soccer in the South with Wolfman Jeff coming at you. Oh boy, it's a rough one. So I just finished watching Manchester City host us, and it was interesting. The match was, at least in the United States, was an afternoon match. So it started at 3 o'clock Eastern time. I don't get off work till 5, so I couldn't watch the match until just a little while ago, and it's getting not 5. So I heard about the match, saw some of the comments, certainly saw the score, saw some of the fouls, and had expectations based on the comments. And knowing I still needed to watch it, knowing I wasn't going to like the outcome, that was rough. Going in and watching the full match, knowing you're not going to be happy. And so what are my thoughts on today's match? Having said that, I was expecting us to have played much worse, just based on the comments, and I think it was the frustrations of the moment. Granted, it wasn't great. Probably at best we were meh. We weren't horrible. We actually had a lot of points where a lot of times we were rather competitive. There were some key factors in there. I think the early goal, it hurt, but I don't think we were out of it because, we're used to being behind early in the game and coming back and winning everything back. But I think the real change, and it was just 20 minutes in, or not even 20 minutes in, was the red card by Bali. And I know from other comments and other people looking at it, they're a little frustrated. They weren't quite sure that should have been a red card. At the end of the day, I know there can be some inconsistency between match to match, but at all times, that could always be a red card. And it happened to be on this time that they did call that as a red card, and there is some questions there that that may not have been the safest way to play. Maybe 10 years ago it wasn't, but we know going into it, it is. I'm not happy with Bali insofar as, one, if he put himself in a situation where another player really could have been hurt. As much as we want to win and be competitive, that's not the way we win, and that's not the Wolves' way. Having said that, watching Bali accept it, question a little bit, but then accept it, make apologies. And he went out of his way to apologize to the player that was injured, walked off, and so at the end of the day, at the end of the event, Bali, I think, walked off with his head high and is going to win back his integrity. But he put us in a really bad spot. And obviously, still a Bali fan. He's done so much for us. Bali will continue to do so much for us, just not in the next few games. But it hurt. The Wolves reacted, I think, as best as they could. Coming down now from all these negatives, and again, City, absolutely, I don't want to take anything from Manchester City. They proved why they are where they are. They proved why they won the league last year, why they have won so much hardware recently, why they are the number 2 and I think the best competition against Liverpool for the league at this moment. They proved why, because they are full of quality, and they respected us and did not assume they could walk through, and they gave it to us. And I think it's the only way they didn't win by 5 or 6-0 was because we still have quality even with 10 men down. So they didn't go light, they didn't go easy, they respected us and we respected them back. So hats off, Manchester City, well done. As far as for us responding, I think one player I really have to nod to is Dendonka. And he's been coming around lately, been really making a greater impact. he adjusted his play when our defense all of a sudden had a big hole into it. I suspect he might be in the starting lineup in the back three for the next few matches. We'll see how that happens. In the second half, Traore came on, and I thought it was odd that he came on for Jimenez, because I had expected Traore to come in, but for someone else, and to keep, so that way he could feed Jimenez. He impressed me. He showed that there's still a lot of life in Wolves. So it hurts. It wasn't fun to watch, especially knowing we didn't do well and having to watch it anyway. But at the match, I could hear the Wolves. And so my Wolves supporters, my fellow supporters out there, my brethren, my pack, and even though it looked dark and dim, I could hear you and singing with you, and you filled the stadium with your voice and support for the Wolves. And that, people ask me, why am I here? I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Why am I a Wolves fan? And as much as I keep pointing to the quality of the Wolves, it's the Wolves supporters. You guys are amazing. You guys are rock stars. Of course, you've got the vocal pipes for it. And so thank you. Thank you for continuing to shout out our voice. Come on, you Wolves. Now, coming up, we got a long season ahead of us. We have Leicester coming up Saturday, and we've faced them once, and we have some unfinished business on Saturday. And they're coming to the Molineux. Oh, I know the Wolves supporters will be loud and proud. So tell me your thoughts. I know it wasn't the most fun game to watch, and it was a little disheartening, but there's also silver linings with this, and certainly we're right now still in an 11th spot, and we're not that far from 7th or 8th. So we're going to be fine. We still have a lot of quality on our side. We have to make adjustments. So what are your thoughts on what do we need to do to fill in those spots? Perhaps we've shown even more our need for a striker because we couldn't score today. Or maybe there's another area you think we need filled in. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about coming against Leicester. What would you do with the lineup change? Who's going to fill in for Bali? Do you think Dendonka has earned it, or is there someone else you have in mind? Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. This has been Soccer in the South with Wolfman Jeff.